Coach, second time against Vandy. What do you want to do better this time?
Well, again, I think they've improved. I'd like to think we've improved too. I thought, really did a good job in their ball screen offense. I didn't think we were great at it, but they had a lot to do with that. And I'd also like to see us shoot the ball better. I think that's important. I mean, at some point in time, we're going to have to make shots, but even with that, we've proven that we can hang in there and hopefully make enough to get it done when it needs to get done. But I'm impressed with Mark and what he's done with his group, and they've been right there all year with everyone, and he's done a great job.
Cade talked after the game the other night about having some scouting report breakdowns. How do you fix that at this point in the season?
Well, again, that's what we addressed yesterday when we went back to scrub it out. You know, just how can we at this point in time, especially in the last 4 minutes with key guys on the court, just simple, personnel breakdown, where at that point in time when the game is really into balance, you can't have those mental lapses, and we did. And the answer is always, I don't know. Well, you have to know, and it's focus, whether you're letting other things creep in at that point in time where you're not allowing yourself to stay focused on that particular possession. And so my question is, where is your mind at that point in time? Because it's just breakdowns that you really can't have in those critical situations.
The breakdowns, do you think it could be a result of guys still, like the transfers, trying to become acclimated to what you expect from them?
No doubt. I don't think there's any question that guys are learning that the difference, and there is a difference level, and that's not to be negative about any level, but you're out there. I think the talent level in this league is obviously extremely close because of all you got to do is look at how every game's played, and I do think being able to mentally stay with it for 40 minutes and know that when you get down to those last 4 minutes, and we haven't even, if you go back, I don't think our starts have been that great, especially offensively, defensively good. But I do think the fact is that for guys that are at this level for the first time, there's a learning curve. They're learning that it's difficult to finish.
What are those emotional moments that you were talking about the other night? Are those taking shots when they don't need to be taken outside the offense?
Well, again, we have certain players that we want to go after, and we had chances in that game and we had situations that we could have driven the ball, and we settled for threes when the lane's wide open, and we should have taken advantage of that, and that was part of our scout report. And again, so I think when guys who I know we got a group of guys that really want to win, but when they're not seeing the game as it's unfolding like that, is again, that's part of the learning curve. You like to think that, hey, here's a guy that, just like we know how we want to guard guys defensively, there's guys on offense that we know we can get them at the right space on the court that we want to attack. And the fact that we didn't do that 2 or 3 times was disappointing. And you hope from the failure that we have that we learn from it.
You said Igor Milicic sometimes on the court, you don't know what he's doing offensively. How does he snap out of that?
All he's got to do is play at a speed because he can pass the ball, he can shoot the ball, he can handle the ball, he can do all that. It's when he allows himself to get, and I think he speeds himself up. I think he gets anxious, and I told him that. I think he's just got to slow down because he impacts the game in so many different ways. But again, you get caught up in games. Players do it, and it's not just Igor. I've seen other guys the other night do it. Guys that have been in those situations where they lost focus of what their job is at that point in time. And but he's a guy that when he's playing at the pace that we want him to, I mean, he's a real playmaker. He can do a lot of things. But again, he's playing against a level of competition he hasn't played against consistently for the last 2 months, 2.5 months, I just think he's got a chance to just really finish strong and get so much better these next couple of weeks.
Is there a direct correlation between guys speeding up and some turnover issues?
No doubt, because when you're sped up, and I can tell you there's times when it's not anyone speeding us up other than ourselves, and it's whether it's being anxious, whether it's understanding that there's a lot of things that we could talk about, but the fact is, it's staying within the moment, playing that possession, and letting if you made a mistake, and I think what happens, because we've got some guys that really truly want to win at the highest level, they want to make it up, and you don't have to make it up. You just got to play that next possession, you know. So the one before it didn't go well, you might have done something that you felt like that wasn't right. You got to let that go, get on to the next play, and oftentimes players will think, I've got to go make something happen right now. And normally when that's the mindset, it doesn't normally turn out very well.
The goal for this team is still ahead of you, and Coach Gainey mentioned before the game emotional shooting, and you mentioned it after. Just is it getting better for them to understand that concept and looking ahead after a defensive breakdown like you had in Kentucky?
Like what about, you say shooting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, we all know, I mean, I've said it before, if I could coach to one thing, we'd never miss. I promise you, we'd never miss. And but that's what makes the game what it is. And again, I can go back and we had quality looks. I can't explain to you why some nights, you know, but again, it's the game. I've seen the very best of the best go through shooting slumps, but when they go through it, the way that you got to continue to take your shots. That's all we ask these guys to do. Shoot the shots on our terms. And if we do that, we're going to live with the results. And it's when guys, I think, are missing shots and they start pressing. Again, it goes back to, you know, saying, okay, I missed that one, I got to make the next one. If that's your mindset, that you just continue to put more and more pressure on you. I just want guys, again, do what we do, play the way we talk about playing, and when you're open, you've got to shoot the ball. And if it goes in, it goes in. If not, we're hoping that we can get, you know, not the majority, but a lot of our misses, which we've done sometimes really well, sometimes not. But we don't want them hesitating when the shots come on our terms.
What's your message to D-Stone right now when you're communicating with him? Where's he at?
I think the biggest message to him is that he doesn't have to make a three-point shot to stay in the game. That's the message. You know, he's got so many other things he can do, but you know, he's a player that I think he can shoot the ball at a high percentage. But if you're going into the game thinking that's the only way you're going to impact the game, if it goes in, it goes in. If it don't, it don't. We can't be thinking, okay, is he going to try another one or whatever? You know, we just want him to play and play within the flow of the team, what we're trying to do. And same thing, when he's open with the shots that we talk about, we want him to take them. And we think he'll make a high percentage of it. But I think, again, when guys go in the game thinking that their number one thing is, I've got to make a shot to stay in the game, I promise you, it never works. It will never work, because even if they're, you know, they're a good percentage shooter. And I mean, I had a recruit one time ask me, if I make 3 straight threes but get scored on 3 straight times, would you take me out of the game? I said, it depends on how it happens. And that's the same way when players go in the game. If they're scoring points but they're giving up plays that you can't give up, that, you know, somewhere you got to say, okay, which way is going to win the game for us?
Switching it up a little bit, can you touch on the work ethic of Grant Hurst and what he's brought to the program?
Grant's been a great addition to our team. You know, the guys love him. They appreciate the fact that, you know, it's not easy when you come in every day, and our walk-ons know that they're not going to play probably very little at all. But the fact that Grant has come in, I think the fact that his teammates respect him so much speaks volumes about him. And I'm glad he's part of our program. Our entire coaching staff is, because he's got a great personality. I think he's a guy that can influence players, whether he's playing or not, which is really a compliment to him. Players respect him. They know that he wants to win. They know that he wants to help them get better, so they can go out and perform at a high level. But he's been a really good contribution to our basketball program.
Anything else?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.